Nick Wright believes Caitlin Clark could soon be most famous basketball player. Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise in popularity dating back to her time in college can only be rivaled by a few athletes in the history of sports. But as far as FS1 host Nick Wright sees things, the sky is truly the limit to how popular Clark can become. The proof has been in the pudding when it comes to the impact Clark has had on ratings in the WNBA. Last season, 9 of the 10 most watched games included Clark's Indiana Fever, a trend that has continued in the few games that she has played early on this season. Clark's popularity had truly transcended the bubble that countless other talented WNBA stars have been placed in over the years. And according to Nick Wright, who discussed the topic on Tuesday's edition of The Herd alongside Colin Cowherd, Clark could soon find herself as the most popular basketball player regardless of gender. "You and I kind of keep upping the ante on where we think her star is going," Wright said to Cowherd. "And I have decided that it can't be upped high enough. So here is the question I have, as crazy as this sounds. Once Steph Curry and LeBron James retire, will there be an active American athlete that is not a quarterback that is more famous than her?" "No," responded Cowherd. "I think she will be more famous than every baseball player she might already be," added Wright. "Every hockey player. All of the US men's national team. And every football player that isn't Patrick Mahomes and maybe Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. There is only a few. And I think she is already more famous than every NBA player but KD, Steph, and LeBron. And I don't see any of those guys catching her. I think she is a supernova of fame and talent. Football is typically king when it comes to the kind of widespread popularity of players on a national level. So Wright could certainly likely add a few names like Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, and Dak Prescott to the list of players who at least rival Clark's popularity if not exceed it. But when you strictly look at the landscape of basketball currently, Wright may be spot on in his assessment. Media members have continued to ask who the next face of the NBA is once LeBron James retires. And while Clark obviously doesn't play in the NBA to have a stake for that claim, she may very well be the true face of basketball as a whole when LeBron calls it quits. Caitlin Clark channels Kobe's Mamba mentality against cheap shots. On Tuesday night, the Indiana Fever defeated the Connecticut Sun 88-71 to clinch a spot in the WNBA's Commissioner's Cup championship game. It was one of the most hotly contested games in recent memory. The matchup was fraught with flagrant fouls, skirmishes, and ejections. No player drew the ire of their opponents more than Caitlin Clark. Despite receiving multiple cheap shots, the reigning Rookie of the Year was unfazed. Clark has had to get accustomed to unfair criticism and cheap shot fouls throughout her young WNBA career. Clark led the Fever to victory with 20 points, channeling her best impressions of her idol, Kobe Bryant. Clark does more than just wear Nike Kobe basketball shoes on the court, she channels Bryant in her demeanor. "You guys came for basketball, let's talk about basketball," Clark said bluntly during her post-game press conference. "Obviously we're excited. It's a big deal," Clark said. "It's a hard thing to do, and why wouldn't we celebrate that? We're getting to play for a pool of money. That's pretty fun. And you're competing to win a trophy. It's an extra game for us to get better as well." Many players and fans tout the Mamba mentality, but none have dealt with the level of anger directed at Clark. The WNBA is a physical league, but players are doing their best to knock the superstar out of step. Nevertheless, Clark remains the brightest star in the league. One area she has yet to dominate is the footwear industry. Despite signing a historic sneaker deal with Nike in 2024, the brand has not launched a signature shoe for Clark. As the sneaker community waits on Clark's debut hoop shoe, the Fever guard continues to wear retro Nike Kobe sneakers in player-exclusive colorways. Very few players receive player-exclusive Nike Kobe colorways, and even fewer have them released to the public. Luckily for athletes and fans, the very shoes Clark wore last night will hit shelves this summer. Clark's Nike Kobe 5 Protro Indiana Fever colorway does not yet have an official release date. However, it is expected to drop in limited supply for $190 in adult sizes on the Nike SNKRS app sometime this summer. It has become clear there is no better torchbearer for the Nike Kobe line than Clark. The 23-year-old plays with a level of fearlessness that belies her age, and it is also what will further elevate the WNBA to new heights. Stay locked. Sports Illustrated's Kicks on SI for all your footwear news from the WNBA and beyond.